showcase in High Wycombe. I'm Dawn Mistress.
I am Duke Special.
And we are here to bring you the next game, Game 3 on the Saturday, 27th of August. It is Rainy City versus Tiger Bay. Croeso I Tiger Bay. Nice to see Welsh representation. So these two teams haven't met each other since COVID, but we do know that Tiger Bay plays the closed door with London, that London won, and London and Rainy recently played and Rainy won. So on paper, Rainy should look in a strong position, but we are in that post-COVID world where everything's still all a bit up in the air. So both teams have a good chance today. So we're about to get underway for the first jam, and on the track we have number 31. That is Plant for Tiger Bay up against 873 Gnarly for Rainy City on the jam line. And I think we're just waiting for some officials action. That's now 5 seconds been called for the first jam. Plant, who looked like they were going to get out but recycled to the back. Rainy City Gnarly up front, pushing on turn 1. And having to push all the way to turn 2, that's Dos Santos from Tiger Bay, holding back Gnarly for a good 20 seconds. But it is Rainy with the first lead. Rollo Tomasi to the penalty box. And we have a star pass to Chantal for Tiger Bay. And that forces the jam. Sorry, forces the call-off.
So Rainy there picking up some points on the board, completely unmatched so far, giving them an early lead, but a very small lead. This is only one jam into the game, so it's still very much ball to play for.
It is getting those first points on the board, because you're setting the momentum and you're setting the energy of the game. Yeah. So on the jam line we have Geordie for Tiger Bay, up against Mia for Rainy City, and a pivot line start. Ooh, sexy. As you'd expect, very strong defence from both teams, but it is Rainy who gets out again, second lead jam in a row. And Geordie just facing off against Fisher, but does make it out, completes their initial pass. And Gnarly picks up a cut track penalty, so this is now a power jam to Tiger Bay. Absolutely crucial at this point in this game.
So exciting. It gives Tiger Bay a great opportunity to pick up points, and while there is no other jammer on the track, of course that means Tiger Bay can concentrate on their offence, just getting their jammer out and scoring points.
That's 4 points on the board for Tiger Bay. Rainy trying to do everything with a 3-wall up front to slow down Geordie. But it's Kemp for Tiger Bay going off with direction. Yeatman for Rainy City also in the box, and that confusion freed up Geordie to complete another 4-point scoring pass. But Mia is now back on track.
Rainy they're just closing up on the Tiger Bay jammer.
And Mia making it out, completing a scoring pass. So both teams with points on the board this jam, and Mia with a beautiful apex jump to the inside.
So beautiful.
But both jam, as it is now a 2-minute jam because of the loss of lead, that's done a lot for the points, and so we have another 4 points for Tiger Bay, but also another 4 points for Rainy City.
They are neck and neck, both on 16 apiece.
But it's Tiger Bay who've got 1 lap extra in this jam until the announcer's curse. Mia sneaks through for the full 4 points, but that has put Tiger Bay 18 points in this jam, Rainy City 16. So Tiger Bay closing that jam down by half. But I think they would have wanted to keep Rainy to a lower point score.
Yeah, absolutely.
So on the jam line for Tiger Bay, it is Jenks, and she is up against Roxy Toxin, both of them Team Wales skaters from the 2018 World Cup. A little bit of extra Welsh knowledge there.
Looks like they're having a little love in there while we're just waiting for some track repairs to take place.
Lovely reunion.
Yeah.
So Roxy Toxin actually a transfer in to Rainey from Manchester, and Jenks are transferring from the Riot City Ravens into Tiger Bay. I think we've seen quite a few people moving around just before and just after COVID, thinking about what they want to do and who they want to play with. And I mean, we're just going to see a story of strong defence throughout this whole game.
Absolutely. That is 9-0. Giant base stacks there coming in with some really lovely offense, trying to get their jam out the pack.
And that's such tight walling. I mean, just Chantel from Tiger Bay, almost one-on-one, but now we're back into a scrum pack. And it's Dos Santos with that absolute dump on Roxy Toxin, but got a direction penalty for it.
Yeah.
But it is Rainey City picking up lead. Roxy Toxin now on a scoring pass, taking the outside line. Beautiful, one-footed, backwards skate through the back.
Twirling past.
And we have a Rainey City blocker in the box, but we have a star pass by Tiger Bay to Chantal. And Roxy Toxin looking for guidance from the bench, calls the jam. So Tiger Bay using the well-used, because it's good strategy of pass the star, force the jam to be called off, limit the damage. 8 points for Rainey City in that jam, taking them to 28, Tiger Bay on 18. And we are 5 minutes into that game.
Yeah.
But interestingly, both teams picking up a few penalties, but Rainey City have already had 5 players in the penalty box in the first 5 minutes.
Certainly, it's not been the cleanest game so far, but then that has been a bit of a feature of games coming back post-COVID, when everyone's forgotten how they're supposed to skate and what they're not meant to do.
Oh, and actually, Tiger Bay did pick up 2 points in that last jam, so that takes the score 20 to 28.
Yes, I think it was the two Rainey blockers in the box.
So we're just having a bit of an official timeout where we'll make sure that we've got everything recorded. I think both teams coming into this, really wanting and expecting to be able to win.
Absolutely. I believe Rainey are due and Tiger Bay are due to play each other again in October time. So this is very much sort of a testing the waters for both of them to see how that might pan out.
So Dos Santos released from the box. Queen standing. But that smaller pack has enabled Tiger Bay to get their first lead jam, and that is
the 271 Pep Canary. Pep Canary there just sort of whizzing round to the back of the pack, trying to pick up some points while the Rainey jammer is still being held on their initial.
Pep tried that inside line but was shut out, and it is now a Rainey wall up front. Dos Santos coming in to destroy it. I have a massive blocker crush on Dos Santos.
Dos Santos is an astonishing blocker.
A phenomenal.
Yeah.
So if I get silence, it's because I'm just watching in admiration and awe.
Although having seen them play the other week, Queen for Rainey is also a phenomenal blocker and not someone I ever want to skate against.
Interestingly, both of those two blockers being the bridge at the moment rather than doing the blocking, but that is an impenetrable wall up front. Rainey are doing incredibly well to have given away leads, but actually just holding the jammer, holding Pep, still on their first scoring pass.
Dos Santos there just coming in, trying to break up the Rainey wall and get Pep out.
But Rainey passed the start to Queen, and Queen absolutely demolished their way out of the wall and forces that call on.
Absolutely.
So Rainey City, no points, Tiger Bay 4, but that does close that gap down now, just 4 points between the two teams. Oh, this has been a tense first 7 minutes.
It's a very tight game so far. Wonderful stuff.
On the jam line, we have Teresa for Tiger Bay up against Gnarly for Rainey City. I think Teresa is one of the newer skaters for Tiger Bay. I believe that they're about to do a learn to skate course. So if you are in Wales and you want to learn to play derby, go check out Tiger Bay on Facebook or websites or other social medias of your choice. But in the meantime, Rainey City have picked up lead jammer and completed their first scoring pass. Gnarly now for second scoring pass, but Teresa is still stuck in that first pass, attempting a star pass to Chantel, but Queen and Penny Block just stopping them.
Absolutely. Queen and Penny Block just saying no, you shall not pass.
Unfortunately, Queen has gone to the box for that shenanigans. But that, just having a look at all that sort of rough and tumble action on turn 3.
We have, I think, also lost the Tiger Bay jammer, making this a power jam to Rainy City.
It was a cut track penalty for Peb. And so this is, as you say, a power jam to Rainy City. Chance for them to open that lead up. Gnarly pushing through, just brushing off Dos Santos.
Which is not an easy task.
So, Queen released from the box, just in time for that jam to end. So that was 16 points for Rainy City, really opening up that lead. 44 now plays 24 to Tiger Bay.
Absolutely.
But Peb is standing in the box, and so we'll be jamming for Tiger Bay, up against Mia for Rainy City. Again, a sneaky pivot line start.
They've gone running back. Mia, they're just sort of feeling the sides of the back of the pack and just skipping around the edge like they're not even there.
Beautiful offense from Rainy City, opening up that inside line, blocking Tiger Bay, boxing them out of the way. But Peb is back on track, just as Mia picks up a cut track penalty, so this will be a 2-minute jam, and a chance for Tiger Bay to close down that gap that was just opened up tit for tat. We're seeing with these jams. But Peb is still on their initial pass. And it is just solid wall at the back. And that is Una Bomber and Yeatman, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah. And a star pass to number 59, Wild, for Tiger Bay. Because there is no lead, there's no point to keep the star.
Absolutely.
It's just trying to get points.
Whoever you can get out and get scoring. Big hit there on the Tiger Bay blockers, getting Mia out the flat pack.
However, that was an absolute penalty kill by Rainy City. Did not let Tiger Bay score until Mia was back on track.
Again, just some really lovely offense there by Rainy, getting their jammer out, trapping the opposing jammer, allowing them just to pick up all these points and increase their lead.
But both jammers are out completing scoring passes, but Rainy with that extra scoring pass, so continuing that lead. But there's been a big hit out and recycle on turn 2 on Mia and on Wild, so it is absolute tit for tat.
Absolutely.
And just as I say that, announcer's curse, Mia out. Wild recycled half the length of the track.
It's never what you want when you're the jammer.
No. And that's 4 more points, so that's putting Rainy City on 20 points in this jam. Tiger Bay on 8. So that's, in the last 2 jams, Rainy City have put on 36 points.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's the story so far. 36 points in two jams.
It's a really impressive performance. It's the kind of thing that got them to champs.
Yeah.
Or however many years ago it was that we last had champs.
That was before COVID. That was
Exactly.
before times. They don't exist anymore. I feel like it's like roller derby was a board game, and we've come in at 3 o'clock in the morning and just shaken up all the board and all the pieces because we've had enough.
Absolutely. We are now in a team timeout.
That's Tiger Bay that have called that timeout. Looking to change the momentum, this is exactly the time to call a timeout. If you've just had 36 points scored against you, try and take away the other team's momentum as much as re-strategize yourself.
Stop, have a little breather, try and come up with a new strategy, try and knock their momentum, get them slightly out of sync.
So the reason that everybody's very excited about this game, both teams want to win, is whoever wins this game goes to play London at 5 o'clock here as game 7, and whoever loses this game plays Leeds at 3 o'clock this afternoon on this track.
Absolutely.
And don't forget there is Junior Roller Derby on the other track all day. Don't go anywhere. Just accept that you and the sofa are now one.
Yeah.
So it is Plant on the line for Tiger Bay, and jamming for Rainy City, it is Roxy Toxin.
Both jammers being quite tightly held by the pack currently. It's like a washing machine. They're just being recycled round and around, both of them.
But that is a cut track penalty on Plant, so it is now a power jam to Rainy City.
Some lovely blocking right up the front there from the tripod of Tiger Bay, but pushed too far out and forced to let go.
And it's Rollo Tomasi going in, trying to get some offense in ahead of Roxy Toxin's scoring pass. Oh, but that is a cut penalty for Roxy Toxin, so we are now going to have a jammer switcheroo. Although
Absolutely.
Plant is standing, so it's at least 20 seconds, sorry.
Imagine if it was a 20-minute penalty. That would be a whole other game.
Yeah, so Plant now back on track, approaching the pack.
I think that means we have another 2-minute jam.
Messy jamming.
Yeah.
Penalty, you know, everyone's too keen.
They're just so excited to get to skate.
That was a big hit out by Rollo Tomasi, but also taking themselves out, so both having to skate back to turn 3. Oh, Queen and Penny Block. I could watch those two all day.
They're just the most phenomenal pairing of skaters who you think you want them on your team and you never want to face them. Every time I see them play, I think this. Plant is out.
That was some nifty work on the outside. Dancing past Queen.
Yeah.
I amuse myself, even if it's no one else.
Absolutely.
So Roxy Toxin pushing out against Chantel and Dos Santos up front, with that's base stacks, giant base stacks doing the bridging.
Plant, they're just sort of whizzing in underneath the arm of the Rainy blocker, but not quite enough.
But that was an important jam. It was 3 points for Rainy City and 2 points for Tiger Bay. Very big change in momentum from the previous 2 jams.
Absolutely.
So I think Tiger Bay had a real word with themselves, and it's just working out how to work against a different team, because you have your own way of playing, but
you've got to get a feel for the other team.
Yeah. So we've got Geordie up against, I think that's Tripsy Danger. Tripsy Danger, who is jamming for Rainy City. Tiger Bay's second lead jam.
They will be looking to capitalise on that as much as possible and close that point score gap.
And it's Tripsy Danger who was recycled back, but Geordie is now scoring points just as Wild goes to the box and Chantal is in the box. So Tiger Bay, with only 2 blockers on track, still able to come back Tripsy Danger.
Absolutely. That is Evans Chantal returning from the box as Rainy lose a blocker to the box.
So apologies to Chantal and everybody who knows them. That used to be their skate name. So apologies, Evans, it is now in my head, I promise.
Tiger Bay there making the call off to get an unmatched 4 points.
And the thing is, we've still got, 15 minutes in this half. 4 points by 4 points, they've still got time to close that gap, even by half time.
It's one big jam, really.
So Jenks on the line for Tiger Bay up against Gnarly for Rainy City. And we have 1 blocker from each team in the penalty box. Wild is standing, and it is Unabomber who's in for Rainy City. But it's Rainy City and Gnarly who pick up the lead jammer. Very quick star pass by Tiger Bay. Evans is out and chasing Gnarly down. That was a super quick star pass.
Absolutely, putting the pressure there on Rainy to make the call. But I think that Evans has picked up those 4 points.
Yep, 4 points all. So, Evans has taken 3 star passes so far.
That is impressive work there for Evans.
Well, Evans has jammed. Evans doesn't always like jamming.
No, but they are good at it.
They are good at it and can be a real game changer.
Absolutely.
Sneaking the 4 points and forcing the call off, great work. So on the jam line we have Mia up against Peb Canary.
Bomber returning from the box to put Rainy City at full blocking force on the track.
And it is a
the announcers' ears, though, they have just lost another blocker to the box.
But also it is Mia who is our lead jammer for Rainy City. Peb just facing off against Yateman now and completes their initial pass.
So that is now... sorry, though, it's just very odd noise in the headphones. That is Tiger Bay with the pack advantage.
Absolutely, and Wild up front trying that sort of backwards gliding hit, but Mia able to brush that off to complete the 4-point scoring pass. And we have got, though, Peb in the box, and that is, I'm just waiting to see what the penalty was. Oh, we'll get there in a minute. But so it is a power jam to Rainy City, and the box is emptied, so it's just Peb in there for Tiger Bay, just as Mia completes another 4 points and calls the jam because they see Peb standing.
Really looking to take the power start and capitalise on that, meaning that they can go for the full offence, getting their jammer out to pick up another lead and control the next jam.
So it was a back block penalty for Peb. Thank you to our lovely producer Painbow, who's giving us all the stats and facts. So it is now 79 points for Rainy City, playing 46 for Tiger Bay, and we've got 12 minutes left in this half. I'm so glad I've got another 45 minutes of this.
It's exciting.
Roxy Toxin for Rainy City.
Being held at the front there by Evans for Tiger Bay.
But Peb has been released from the box. And we're just trying to see. On that corner, that is just 3 walls of doom. Two 3 walls of doom.
2 3 walls of doom. That is number 24, Rolo Thomasy there from Rainy, just trying to break up that Tiger Bay 3-wall and get their jammer out. But we've got some action there at the front.
It's Dos Santos up front, as you'd expect, able to keep back Roxy Toxin for those few extra seconds.
Yeah.
But that's meant the pack has collapsed onto turn 3, and Peb is stuck in the middle of that. Tiger Bay unable to sort out to give enough offence. Peb is now pushing up front.
Slamazon and Pennyblock there, just the sort of wall of nope.
And that's a blocking with I think that's a high block for Slamazon.
Possibly.
Yes. And that's also Evans going to the box. But
nice.
Peb is through. Scored 4 points for Tiger Bay.
Absolutely, just dancing through there, just on the very edge of the inside line to pick up those points.
And Roxy Toxin calls the jam before any more damage can be done. But that was still 8 points to Rainy City and 4 for Tiger Bay in that jam. 87 now playing 50. Yes. The game feels tighter than the score.
It really does. They're a really well-matched set of teams.
But if you think that 36 points that Rainy City scored in 2 jams, if it wasn't for that, they'd be almost tied.
Absolutely.
So 93 jamming for Tiger Bay, that's Teresa. And we've got an official timeout, so everybody gets a bit of a breather. And I believe that is Hazard jamming for the first time for Rainy City.
I think you might be right there, yeah. It's interesting, Rainy clearly taking the right to sort of go further into their jamming rotation. We're seeing people jamming that we quite often haven't seen before for Rainy.
Well, it's either because you need to give them a break, because this is a super physical game.
Absolutely.
I mean, when you just look at the number of penalties, nobody's in anywhere near danger. But Rainy City have picked up 12 penalties already. Yeah. Tiger Bay have only had 2 leads, but there's only 37 points difference.
It's impressive work.
And that's Rainy City picking up another lead, so that is Hazard. Teresa's still stuck at the back, still stuck by the jammer line, recycled back past the jammer line by the Rainy City blockers. And Hazard just able to skate through comparatively. Oh, that was a lovely hit from Teresa on Hazard.
Very nice.
So stuck at the back of the pack, still got the presence of mind to hit out the other jammer.
It's impressive stuff. Hazard there being held now by that Tiger Bay 3-wall.
And in a surprise to no one, Tiger Bay have passed the start to Evans.
Evans duking around at the front there. With the helmet the cover on inside out, but technically you can still see the star.
Yes, you can. So it would. I think there would be a grey area.
Yeah.
About whether is it enough? You know.
Yeah.
But you can see the star, so one view could be that they
Indeed.
could still score points.
Certainly, the rules only say that the star must be visible on the helmet to score points, and the star is visible from the wrong side.
So just doing some quick track repair. It is Plants for Tiger Bay up against Gnarly for Rainy City.
Gnarly being held there by the sort of rotating walls of Tiger Bay as they're both knocked out and recycled back.
And Plant is one of those incredibly fluid and jukey jammers, incredibly agile. So this kind of big, heavy wall is quite difficult for them to get through. Gnarly finding that gap on the inside again. I think that's the offense from Rainy City coming in at just the right time. But Plant is also out, so it is now a jammer chase to the pack.
Absolutely, the pack trying to speed up, get away.
Tiger Bay trying to be up front to let Plant score points, which I think they did. Yes, 1 point. 1 point for Tiger Bay, 2 points for Rainy City.
Lovely stuff.
That's how you keep it tight.
It
It's like
is.
even if you don't have lead, force the call off and still try. Tiger Bay have had more success in sneaking those points than you normally see.
Yeah, they're really putting the pressure on.
Yeah. But Rainy City are just able to lock down the Tiger Bay jammers longer, so they're picking up lead almost every jam.
Yeah. I think Geordie jamming for Tiger Bay. I think that's the first time we've seen them out.
A couple of times, but they've got a deep jammer rotation, Tiger Bay, and it's Mia for Rainy City who's completing on a scoring pass, but Geordie is out now, so about to approach the pack for points. And forces that call off, but the traditional 4-0.
Yep. But Rainy losing a blocker to the box, so they'll be starting with the slight pack disadvantage there.
So we've got Hazard up against Jenks. Somebody's playing with a theremin.
Yeah.
If you hear any noise, that was just a technical issue, but we're about to get underway again. And hopefully you can still hear our beautiful voices. So, Jenks hit to the outside by Rainy City. And makes it out. Thirdly, jam for Tiger Bay.
Jenks wasting no time in getting back round to that pack and scoring points as fast as she can.
And you could hear the crowd, hopefully, really giving Jenks the support. But Hazard out now.
Phenomenal pairing of Evans and Dos Santos doing their best to hold as long as possible.
But Jenks is in the box with a back block alongside another Tiger Bay blocker. So that's giving Rainy City definite pack advantage.
Absolutely.
At a time that Tiger Bay won't want that to happen.
Indeed.
So Rainy City holding back Evans, trying to keep the pack stationary or moving backwards slightly. Evans not interested in hanging around. Oh, big hit out from Dos Santos, but a shirt whip keeps Hazard on track. So it's Dos Santos out up front with giant base stacks. One-on-one, even when you're Dos Santos, is tough.
Oh, yeah.
Jenks is out of the box, alongside Bobber, who was also there. So this will be a 2-minute jam, as Tiger Bay had lead before that penalty.
Tiger Bay just holding there at the front.
They're so good. I mean, it's not just Dos Santos, it's all of them come together, and they're so good at bridging out the front and holding back with just 2 players or 1 player.
Absolutely.
But Rainy City are just not letting Tiger Bay's jammers through into the front. They get to stay at the back.
Yeah. And Rainy losing both Queen and Penny Block to the box.
Yep. And that's I was just having a look to see what the penalties were because I was being a bit nosy, but it's come up as a question mark on our. So I think there'll be a clarification.
It's fair. I mean, as they came off, they both looked slightly confused about it. So
yeah, it's There's 2 multiplayer blocks. So I think they're just checking what happened in that last jam. but I'm looking to the officials. Yep, an official timeout. Thought that might happen.
Yes, absolutely.
And because it is entirely possible for two skaters to get two multiplayer blocks at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just that there's got to be two actual multiplayer blocks and not the same two skaters. So I think,
Yes.
So I think it's just, so Rainy City were considering an official review, but I think that they've decided to wait to hear what the officials are going to do.
Yeah. It's the most sensible option, because then you get to retain your official review in case you want it later.
Exactly.
Lovely moment to just give a shout out to our great officials. We have got Sherry Bobbins, Marilyn, Referendum, Grand Ref Auto, Trick Track, VK, Haymaker, Max, Stormy, Escape Agent, Cluster, OYU, Big D, Hissing Hellcat, Pretty Miffed, Warp Gen, and Buns Banaki.
So, and we're underway again, and it is Pep Canary on the jam line up against Gnarly, who is already out. I think that's the quickest we've had lead this game.
Absolutely.
Which is a testament to just the strong defence. But that is both jammers out of the pack on their initial pass now. But Gnarly has scored, picking up the full 4 points. Queen and Penny Block being released from the penalty box and being back on the track. So Tiger Bay unable to use their pack advantage to get Peb out, but Peb is now out for 4 full points.
Even with the nice one-on-one blocking as they waited for Queen to rejoin them.
Gnarly just getting through like, oh, pack's no thing.
Absolutely.
4 more points for Rainy City. So even with that pack advantage, Tiger Bay were not able to score more than Rainy City in their last jam. Rainy City picking up 8, Tiger Bay 4. So that's 127, now playing 59. Got 3.5 minutes left in this half.
It's tense stuff.
If you were Tiger Bay, what would you be doing right now?
Having a little cry.
Oh, I don't think that's something Tiger Bay would do.
No, that's why I'm not Tiger Bay, though.
Truly fierce competitors.
Absolutely.
So on the jam line, we have Mia for Rainy City, who's already out, but we also have Geordie, who's also out. So both jammers now approaching the pack on scoring passes.
Geordie chasing down, trying to pick up those points before Rainy can call it, and doing a lovely job.
Mia there deciding whether to call it or not, did not, and that has let Geordie through, picking up 4 points. So now coming for a second scoring pass.
Absolutely.
1 more than Rainy City.
Possibly Mia has just slightly lost focus on the position of the other jammer and doesn't realise that she has been lapped.
But it's Rainy City now with a blocker in the box, Rollo Tomasi, and it is a direction penalty, sorry. And that's called the jam. Just looking at the points, it is... See, Rainy City managed to sneak in that extra scoring pass, 8 points each on that jam.
Absolutely.
And that's why they're Rainy City.
Yeah.
So on the jam line, we have Plant for Tiger Bay up against Hazard for Rainy City. And we have one Rainy City blocker in the box, so Tiger Bay with a pack advantage. And Kemp, they're giving Plant a little bit of a push along.
Yeah, just a little shopping cart you go through.
Love the shopping cart.
Oh yeah, unfortunately there, I think that's Kemp picking up the cut track.
No, that is Plant picking up
the cut track.
Yeah, unfortunately it's now a power jam to Rainy City.
But Rainy clearly picking up a no-earned pass, and so there will be no lead jammer for this game.
Ooh. So full 2 minutes, no lead. That's interesting.
Yeah, this could be a really interesting one on the score with no one able to call it off.
Well, these are the jams that can change the momentum very quickly and just before half-time.
Absolutely.
Yep. And Hazard, they're thinking that they might be able to call the jam, but they're not lead because of that no pass, no.
Yeah.
It's just going to be. It's just going to be 2 minutes of relentless pushing against really hard walls.
Absolutely, I don't envy them.
But it's Rainy City with a blocker in the box, Tiger Bay with a pack advantage, and both jammers taking advantage of some confusion with penalties to get out. So that's both skaters on scoring passes now. Plant hit out and recycled to turn 3. Hazard hit out to the inside, also recycled back to turn 3.
And Plant hit out again, recycled back once again to turn 3.
Both teams have got 3 blockers on the track, but the 2 in the box are about to come out just as Morganator skates past for Tiger Bay, giving Rainy City pack advantage.
Very much a game of musical chairs going on in the penalty box.
And that's the end of that jam, which I think the 2 jammers will be desperately glad of.
Absolutely, and that is us for half-time.
So your unofficial scores at this half-time are 147 to Rainy City, 71 to Tiger Bay. I think as expected in terms of on paper, but I don't think anybody expected the game to be as physical as it's been.
Absolutely not. It's been a really interesting game. It's really tight. It's very physical. There's a lot of big hits and a lot of long holds. It's been a great game.
Well, I think we've just had some technical shenanigans, is what I tend to call it.
Everybody loves technical shenanigans, the most exciting kind.
Yes, but I think it is now at half-time.
Yeah, we certainly had the half-time call from Cluster, our lovely jam timer.
Yes, so we will see you back here in 14 minutes. If you want to check out the JRDA game, I can tell you that they are not quite started yet, so don't move the dial. We'll see you back here in 14. And welcome back to Five Nations Back on Track Showcase, the biggest roller derby party in not just the UK but internationally this weekend.
Absolutely.
It does feel like a party. Everybody coming together. First multi-day tournament in the UK since February 2020.
I believe also the first WFTDA Back on Track event in the world.
Yep, and we are in Game 3, Rainy City Roller Derby versus the Tiger Bay Brawlers. Rainy City taking the first half, 147 points to 71 in what has been an incredibly physical game. Rainy picking up 18 penalties in that first half, Tiger Bay 13. And as I think we're going to say all weekend, the score does not reflect the standard of blocking. It's like nobody's been away for 2 years. They've just been practicing walls.
Absolutely not. I mean, presumably Tiger Bay going with the, pep talk, ready to come back at it.
So we have number 271, Peb Canary for Tiger Bay on the jam line up against Gnarly for Rainy City, both in the pack. On turn 1, trying to get out first as lead jammer.
Big hit there on Gnarly from Wild, but not quite managing to hold them.
Yeah, Rainy City picking up that first important lead jam of the half. Building that momentum, but Tiger Bay have got a blocker in the box who's now standing, so that pack advantage to Rainy City isn't going to last. Morganator back on track.
Tiger Bay there with a star pass to their pivot, who is out skating.
And that is Pip Gray. And forces the call off. I mean, this is what you do. If you're not lead, you try and force the call off, you pass the star. And, we've seen in the first game, London versus Leeds this morning, that there was so many star pass, sort of technicalities, trickies, errors. But Tiger Bay have got this down.
Absolutely. They're playing a really clean, tight game.
So we're having a quick official timeout. It's a chance to give a special shout out to Razor and Julius, who can't be with us due to illness, so we hope that you get better soon. I know you're missing this party, but there'll be other parties, more parties to come, many, many more parties.
Absolutely.
Our roller derby resistance is futile.
It is very true. Also a moment, because I have made a promise to a couple of the Tiger Bay team that I would say this as soon as I've been learning to speak Welsh, and I very recently learned the phrase Blair ma bell, and I said I can now announce roller derby in Welsh. If you don't look that up, that is where is the ball in Welsh. A question you often get asked in roller derby: where is the ball? The answer: there isn't one. Blair ma bell.
So we're still in that official timeout. So also it's a chance to talk to you about True Pig Vegan. Keep jamming, keep blocking, and keep on truffling, they say. I've already had 2 people message me and tell me to go and buy some of the truffles.
Excellent. That is always a good sign.
So big thank you to all the vendors who come here and all the sponsors. We'll get to talk about some of the other sponsors later. We literally couldn't do this without them, because as much as we pay tickets, you know, this is an expensive venue. It's a fabulous venue, and we have an amazing amount of people here. It really. We've got packed crowds on both tracks, so it is wonderful, but we just need everybody to come and support roller derby as we get back on track.
Absolutely. Our other lovely sponsor today is Double Threat Skates, London's brick and mortar roller derby specific shop. They are excellent people run by skaters from London Roller Derby. They know their stuff. They are lovely people, and yeah, definitely worth a visit if you're ever in the capital.
And it's still an official timeout. We thought we were getting back underway, but we're not. Just got to make sure that we've got everything right and proper. There's also already need to be a fair amount of track repair.
Absolutely.
So I'm very upset. Double Threat Skates did not have a shiny helmet in my size.
Oh, that is so disappointing.
I know. I'm gonna have to get them to send it to me in the post.
Yeah.
But you come to a tournament, you want
You want the shinies.
I want the shinies.
Yeah.
And also save the postage fees.
Yes. It's a minor detail. Yeah.
So both teams taking advantage. I mean, Tiger Bay's kid block, one of the coaches spending time with the team to help them with just think about what they're going to do next, which is a good way to keep focused, because the problem is long official timeouts can just leave you a bit unfocused, and especially we're not used to it these days.
Absolutely. It's been a while since any of us have played high-level derby.
So Mia on the jam line up against Geordie. And we have one blocker from each team in the box, so mini packs.
Absolutely. It looks like that pep talk did some good, because that was a long hold there on Mia.
Yep, Mia held back for 15 seconds before picking up lead, and it is Geordie up front now facing off against Fisher. Push to the outside, but now the pack has rearranged around Geordie just as Mia skates through for 4 scoring points.
Star pass there to number 6 Evans for Tiger Bay, who is now out and putting pressure on the pack, who are speeding up to get away.
And forces the call off on that jam. I had a little chat with Evans during the half time, and they said, could they please stop passing the star? They don't like jamming.
Well, got to be less good at it. It's your own fault, Evans. Be less good at jamming, and people will stop giving you the star.
Stop being a game changer.
No.
So it's Plant on the jam line up against Tripsy Danger. So I think only the second time we've seen Tripsy Danger jam, and it's, you know, not even to turn one. It's just it's incredible blocking. I mean, as somebody who is a blocker, I just sort of love watching this.
Absolutely. Lovely hold there from Bosch and the Tiger Bay pivot, whose number I can't see quite right now.
But that is Plant, who has picked up a low block.
And Tiger Bay continuing to hang on to Rainey's jammer for as long as they can.
And that's the only way you can deal with this situation. If your jammer's gone to the box, I mean, 30 seconds to get lead jammer for Tripsy Danger is a long time, even especially in this game.
Absolutely.
And some solid defence at the back as well, because Tiger Bay traditionally at the front, Wild heading to the penalty box. I think they heard my chat about Rainy City picking up all the penalties and decided they wanted to compete.
I think so.
So that's Mia through for 4 more points, but Plant is out of the box.
Being held by that powerful combination of Penny Block and Queen.
But Queen also up front trying to keep the Tiger Bay pivot separated, which is Pip Gray, because it's clear that Tiger Bay would want to try and pass the star. That's what they've been doing all game.
Absolutely. Which is great tactical play there from Rainey.
And it is Queen, as you say, but also providing some offence for Tripsy Danger up front. But this is impressive work by both packs, because neither jammer is able to get out. I mean, this last pass for Tripsy Danger has been a long, long time.
Absolutely.
But Plant has made it out. Just as Mia makes it out, sees the danger, calls the jam. And that's 12 points for Rainy City, taking them to 174, playing 71 for Tiger Bay. How has that been 5 minutes?
It doesn't feel like 5 minutes.
No. So, Jenks on the jam line for Tiger Bay, up against Roxy Toxin for Rainy City. And again, we're just seeing these very explosive jammers, I mean, physically explosive jammers facing these tough walls, but it's Roxy Toxin who jukes out first. Rainy City with the lead. And Jenks being held at the back on the between turns 1 and 2 by that Rainy City wall.
Roxy Toxin there just bursting through Dos Santos and Gray.
Evans picking up the start again for Tiger Bay to try and force that call off. But Roxy Toxin slides on the inside, picks up the 4, calls the jam. Smooth as you like.
Absolutely.
That was incredible offense from Rainy City. Perfect timing to open that inside line.
Beautifully done.
So that's 8 points from Rainy City, taking them to 182. 71 still for Tiger Bay, and it is Gnarly on the jam line for Rainy City up against Peb Canary, 271.
Gnarly being held there by 808 from Tiger Bay. That is Morganator.
But that is a multiplayer block picked up by Wild, heading to the penalty box for Tiger Bay. Just as Gnarly pushes out up front and looks like there was a lot of bodies on the floor.
Absolutely.
But Peb Canary has taken the helmet cover off, so I think looking for the star pass, and that's a star pass to Pip Gray. Yeah. But Queen has seen that and is holding back with Penny Block. Pip Gray also not able to get out of the pack. And it's Gnarly who's now just doing laps for the points. And Pip Gray having to push out hard. Rolo Tomasi and Kate Push together being a formidable force up front. But Gnarly saw the danger, called the jam, and Tiger Bay only able to keep that to 12 points for Rainy City, taking them to 194. So this second half, Tiger Bay have not put any points on in this first 5 jams, whereas Rainy City have put on 40. So wow, that's a real change from the first half, where it was much more, tit for tat, So we have got Geordie on the jam line for Tiger Bay up against... Oh, and Geordie picking up lead jam first time this half. I think only 4th time overall.
I think so, and Geordie will be looking to capitalise on that. As Dos Santos trying to hold back the Rainy jammer for as long as possible.
That's Mia able to push out, complete the initial pass. So Geordie now calls the jam. Geordie having picked up half of Tiger Bay's leads, so that's 2 out of the 4 that they've had. But was, as you said, hoping to capitalise on it, but Mia meant that she had to call the jam. But Tiger Bay picking up 1 point, Rainy City sneaking that extra point. So we have 195 now playing 75, so that's 120 points between the 2 teams, because maths is easy when it's numbers like that.
It certainly helps.
Plant on the jam line for Tiger Bay, up against Tripsy Danger, who is out for lead jammer. Giving a smile to the audience. It really is such a fun atmosphere here.
So much. Everyone's just so delighted to be here, to be back on track.
You can just feel the joy in the room.
Yeah.
So that's 4 more points for Rainy City. But there has been a star pass. It was passed to Pip Gray, but Pip Gray has picked up a forearms penalty as the jammer. So that's the worst timing.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah. So it is power jam to Rainy City, and Tripsy Danger. Oh, now also on the way to the penalty box for a back block. So that is going to be jammer switcheroo.
And we will have a 2-minute jam. This is a great opportunity for Tiger Bay to pick up some points.
You could just We have a view of the penalty box, and Pip Gray just had such a little wry smile when Trixie Danger came in.
Absolutely.
So the pack Rainy City trying to speed up the pack. Pip Gray are facing up against Penny Block, not something.
So, unfortunately for Pip Gray, trying to get these points against Penny Block and Queen, which has proved to be challenging.
Absolutely, not something I'd want to do.
No, definitely not.
And it's actually Bumram who has the hit out and recycle on Pip Gray. And that's an entire penalty kill by Rainy City. Pip Gray not able to get through the pack, and Trixie Danger is now back up front.
So one-on-one blocking there from Camp, just holding back Rainy's jammer all on her own.
So that's Bosch, Plant and Kemp. Remember, Plant is usually a jammer, but also giving a masterclass in blocking up front. And Kemp picking up an out-of-play block penalty. So that jam has come to its natural end. So Rainy City will start with the pack advantage. Also picked up 12 points. 12 points in the last jam. Tiger Bay understandably calling a timeout.
Absolutely, just wanted to regroup, have a little chat, have a little moment of just like, come on, we can do this. To call back from their last major game, Royce ACI medal.
But we saw this at the start of the first half, where Rainy City had that couple of massive jams where they put on 36 points. Tiger Bay had the timeout, and it changed it all. So in this half, Rainy City put on 53 points, and Tiger Bay have only put on 4. I'm not that knowledgeable. I have to give all of the credit to our wonderful producer, Painbow.
Absolutely.
So she makes me sound much smarter than I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it just shows that difference, because we did not see that in the first half. But Tiger Bay called the timeout at the right time and changed the game. I think they're trying to do that now.
Yeah. Certainly they've used their timeouts in a really tactical fashion to sort of try and break Rainy's momentum and concentration and just try and shake things up and get themselves back. It worked really well for them last time. Hopefully it'll work again.
So just a reminder while we're just finishing this timeout that the next game on this track will be at 3 p.m. It will be Leeds and whoever loses this game, and in all reality that is likely to be Tiger Bay. Oh, that's going to be tasty.
Yeah.
And then it is likely to be Rainy City. I mean, obviously everything can change in 20 minutes. Likely to be Rainy City playing London at 5 o'clock. Also going to be tasty.
A rematch of their recent game where Rainy beat London by quite a small margin.
So Roxy Toxin, lead jammer for Rainy City, out for lead, and it's Jenks who is jamming for Tiger Bay. Up front, having a wall of 2 Rainy City. That attrition and, pushing past blockers, brushes off that hit, and Jenks is out, but Roxy Toxin is scoring points. Facing Dos Santos and Evans up front with Boba.
Returning from the box to bring Tiger Bay back to full blocking strength.
Tiger Bay have now lapped Roxy Toxin. In the old school game, that would have been an extra point for Jenks.
Absolutely.
And so Roxy Toxin was wondering whether to call it, has decided not to. Because Jenks is stuck behind El Nasser and Yateman and is not going anywhere.
So, that sort of three-wall there of Yateman, El Nasser and I think Unabomber just holding on to Jenks.
Evans coming in for the offence on Jenks. I think Evans is going, let me do offence, don't give me the star.
Yeah. Don't pass it to me, I don't want it.
It's Roxy Toxin who has made it out of that incredibly tough pack first. So now 4 points each. So Roxy Toxin's caught up with Jenks, brushes off a hit to the outside, and the outside line was left clear. And so now has lapped Jenks, so it's really
close. Jenks pushing out the front there, forcing the Rainy City pack to let her go.
Jenks looks like that was a hard pass, and I think we all felt it.
Absolutely.
But that jam comes to the end, and it is both teams on 8 points. Great work from both teams. I mean, just great defence, but
such tight play.
But really good track awareness from both teams to get at different points.
Yeah.
Not all the time. Not both teams all the time, but at different points.
Yeah, they're playing well.
So on the jam line, we have Gnarly for Rainy City up against Pep Canary for Tiger Bay.
Pep Canary bouncing around like a ping pong ball, trying to get through that rainy walk.
But it's Gnarly who makes it out first for lead. Comparatively easy pass. Tiger Bay were, I think, effectively boxed off by the Rainy City defence. But Peb has made it out and was approaching the pack for points, but the jam got called.
She's lucky because Peb there forgetting to put the star back on, having snatched it, so wouldn't have picked up any points if she had passed any of the opposing players.
But was given a point anyway.
I wonder whether anyone's going to notice that.
Well, I'm sure they do. It may be that we have not seen something that the officials saw, so...
Yeah. Yes, there is...
So anyway, that left the score at 84 to 223, and we have Geordie on the jam line against Mia. Geordie picking up third lead jammer. And we've got jammer.
I think that is Mia with lead, but Geordie out front because Geordie got a no earned pass.
Oh, wow. And Geordie did have a hit on Mia, took Mia to the floor, got the gap, forced the jam to be called off. No points for either team.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you can hear us over the crowd noise because everybody went a bit nuts.
It was an exciting jam. It was very fast.
Yeah, that was a lot of energy. A lot of fun, I think, that jam.
Absolutely.
It had everything. Thrills, spills, unexpected technicalities.
Fancy bits of handwork from the refs.
Plant on the jam line for Tiger Bay up against Tripsy Danger.
Tripsy Danger sort of getting absorbed there into the pack as Plant is knocked to the inside.
And that's a beautiful hit from Pip Gray, but can't hold Tripsy Danger back. Lead jammer for Rainy City. And we have had a star pass by Tiger Bay. Wild now the jammer and has made it out of the pack. And is scoring points, but did not get through the pack in enough time. Forced the call off, but didn't pick up sneaky points, I call them.
Yeah.
So that was 4 for Rainy City, and that's much more what we saw in that first half, where it's only a pass or two.
It's looking like that timeout was called at a really great moment for Tiger Bay, just to allow them to collect themselves, knock Rainy's momentum, and really get going again with it.
So we've got Roxy Toxin up against Jenks, and a pivot line starts, so the jammer's got to run up. And it's Jenks with lead again, so the second jam in second jam of 3 that Tiger Bay have got lead.
Yeah.
Third jam in a row they're out first.
Absolutely. Tiger Bay losing their pivot to the box.
But also Rainy City losing their pivot as well. So that's Fisher going in alongside Evans.
It does mean that Rainy can't pass the star in order to get their points on the board.
No.
So I just sort of lost that train of thought in the middle of saying it.
So Tiger Bay on a scoring pass. Roxy Toxin still trying to get out. Facing up against Dos Santos and Boba up front. And it's a multiplayer block on Dos Santos, leaving just Boba up front. Roxy Toxin out. The 2 pivots back on track. Jenks still stuck behind that wall.
Is giant base axe going in there, just trying to smash it apart and get Jenks out. Who calls it?
Jenks calls that jam to avoid any other damage, but that is 3 points for Tiger Bay, 0 for Rainy City. That is only the second jam this half that Rainy City have not scored. So those last 3 jams lead. Almost kind of lead, came out first, lead, and that score, only 4 points by Rainy City in the last 3 jams. absolute change in momentum.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right about that timeout. So we are having an official review, and that has been called by Rainy City. So when we know what that's about, I'm not going to speculate.
It's nothing immediately obvious so far, so we will have to wait and find out.
It'll be really interesting to see what this does to momentum of the game.
Absolutely. Every time there's a stoppage, that does tend to affect things. You know, it can throw people off, but it can also give them room to have a little bit of a breather, get their energy back up and get ready to go again.
So just a little bit more about this weekend's tournament. So as we said, this is the Five Nations Back on Track Showcase. First multi-day tournament in the UK in 2.5 years since the last WFTDA tournament, which was the Turing Cup, held not too far away from here. We're in High Wycombe in this wonderful venue, and it's a mix of WFTDA teams, MRDA teams, and JRDA teams, juniors. So today is WFTDA and juniors, and tomorrow is MRDA teams and some more WFTDA play. And it's all mini tournaments where there's 4 teams, and they sort of play each other, and then the winners and the losers play each other. So it's a really easy to understand format. So today's, as we said, is going to be London versus potentially Rainy. Right, so I'm going to interrupt myself. We've got the results of the official review. Rainy wants 2 penalties on the jammer for blocking out of play and the cut.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And we'll be waiting to see what the outcome of that is after our lovely officials have finished discussing.
Yeah. So tomorrow's WFTDA games, we've got Leeds B versus London Brawl Saints, first thing. We've got Rebellion versus Dublin, which is going to be nice.
A great game.
Yep, we've got Big Butts versus Manchester, which I think will also be, I mean, they're all going to be great.
Yeah.
I think we're happy with any roller derby, but these are great games. They're tight teams.
Absolutely.
And it's Hallam Hellcats versus Kilohertz.
Another great game.
And tomorrow's MRDA games, Southern Discomfort versus New World Order. We've got Time of Fear versus the Inhuman League. So that's the sort of 4 teams that are playing there. And JRDA, they haven't taken JRDA teams. It's JRDA skaters forming geographical teams.
Yeah, and they're playing as a round robin today, so North v South, South v East, and East v North. And certainly this is a fun fact for the day, for those of you watching. One of the JRDA skaters is right on that age gap cusp. So he's skating as a JRDA skater today and an MRDA skater tomorrow.
I didn't know that.
That is Serial Killer. Look out for him skating for New World Order tomorrow.
I think
today.
everybody involved in roller derby knows Serial Killer.
Absolutely.
I can't watch junior roller derby because it just makes me sad about how incredibly good these skaters are.
Absolutely.
And that they've got their whole life ahead of them to skate.
Yeah, I watched the first game this morning and sat with one of our fellow announcers, and we both just went, they're so good.
Yeah.
And they're so bouncy.
And they are not broken yet like we are.
Their knees still work.
They don't go oof when they stand up.
Yeah. They don't occasionally just sort of go, I've got down on the floor now, I live here.
So from the hand signals from the officials, it appears that, and I'm just waiting for final confirmation, but it appears that the official review was not upheld. So Rainy will lose their official review and nothing will change. I think the other thing that, I'm just having a look, because the only thing that could contradict me is if the jammer goes to the box.
Yes. There's only one way to find out. It is to wait peacefully and see what happens.
But the teams have just been told the results of the official review. And we
So
have
hello
a
to
tiger on the screen.
Hello, Tiger Bay's Tiger. I wonder what the Tiger Bay Tiger's called.
Oh, the Tiger Bay Tiger is sad.
Hello, Tiger Bay Tiger. We love you.
I love somebody who's got that much commitment to wear that in this heat.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that wins the medal for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So everything is getting back on track. So I think that we can confirm that the official review was not upheld. Yeah, so
Both jammers remaining on track. Rainy lose their official review.
So we've got 271 Peb Canary up against Hazard, jamming for Rainy City. Interestingly, this is Hazard's first jam this half, but in the first half of the game, Hazard scored 36 points in just 3 jams.
It's impressive work. Hazard being held there by number 62 for Tiger Bay, that is Pip Gray.
So Hazard out of the pack, now scoring points, and Peb Canary makes it out, pushing past Queen. And that was a dump of a hit by Dos Santos on
Just that little moment of a smile there from Hazard, just pulling it off.
Going, yeah, I don't need this. I don't need this anymore. I'm just going to call it.
Just going to stay here, smile, and maybe have a little breather, because I know certainly when you go over backwards and you land on your coccyx and just think, oh.
Yeah. So neither team picking up points in that jam. So it's 2-2-7. Oh, but Pip Gray going to the penalty box. Also
sitting for 2.
Yeah, picking up a second penalty on the way.
It does mean that Tiger Bay won't be able to start pass to get their star out.
No, not for at least a minute. So Plant left, recycled.
Realising that she has no pivot to pass to, and popping the star hat back on.
So Pip actually picked up a forearms and a direction penalty. So that's leading to the minutes. But Plant pushing out front, Gnarly picking up points.
Pushing there on Yeatman, who is doing some amazing one-on-one blocking.
And Gnarly making that look easy, whereas Plant is trying to find a way around that wall on the side, and does.
Doing a lovely job there, just staying in.
I mean, that was Yeatman and El Nasser not quite keeping that outside line fully covered. They let Plant through. That's forced the jam to be called off. 11 points from Rainy City in that jam, but nothing for Tiger Bay. Not picking up the sneaky points that we were seeing in that first half. I think Rainy City got wise to that, and so we're calling off earlier. They're not leaving it quite so down to the wire.
No. But certainly there's the psychological aspect of letting your opponent race to the back of the pack and then calling it before they can get a point. But if you don't call it fast enough, they might get a point.
Tripsy Danger up against Teresa on the jam line. Tripsy Danger out for lead, no messing.
Pip Gray released from the box after sitting for 2 penalties.
Teresa just, spending their lives behind a wall of purple, but has been sent off for a penalty, so is now a power jam to Rainy City.
So that was a track cut there for Teresa.
But Tripsy Danger now on second scoring pass.
Tripsy Danger coming up against the Tiger Bay Blockers there, being knocked out and recycled back.
It's Pip Gray up front, one-on-one with Tripsy Danger, who jukes to the outside and makes it through. So that's second scoring pass now for Tripsy. Teresa standing in the box, so should be back on track. Is released and is back on track. But Wild with that late hit.
There was some lovely offense there from Slamazon to break up the Tiger Bay wall.
But Wild did that hit out of play, so picks up the penalty and released Tripsy Danger from having to do a massive recycle.
Yeah.
Tripsy making it through. 4 more. That is 4 scoring passes now for Rainy in this jam.
Held briefly at the front there by Bosch, just trying to kill Tripsy Danger's momentum as much as they can.
But there has been a star pass for Tiger Bay. Pip Gray, now jammer, but has decided to go one-on-one with Tripsy Danger. If I'm going to be stuck behind a wall,
might as well slow down the opposing jammer.
Yeah.
Lovely hold there from Ken.
And it's Bosch up front, but Tripsy Danger brushes that off. And the jam comes to a natural end. That was 24 points. I'm just waiting to see the score get updated. No. That is 20 points for Rainy City, taking them to 260. Tiger Bay on 87 points. We have just 7.5 minutes left in this game. I kind of want to go home and rewatch it straight away.
Yeah.
So we have Roxy Toxin up against Geordie on the jam line.
Geordie duking and bouncing, being held by the wall.
And that is a cut track penalty for Geordie. Great drawback from Bumram from Rainy City, forcing that cut track penalty.
Great stuff there from Bumram.
But Roxy Toxin out for lead. And that is a multiplayer. That's a multiplayer penalty for Rainy City. So we've now got Tiger Bay that has the pack advantage.
Dos Santos there, one-on-one with the Rainy Jammer, just holding and holding, but an out-of-play block called.
Yep, that's the danger. That's the danger.
It really is.
Yeah. So, jammer penalties from Painbow. Tiger Bay have had 7 jammer penalties. Rainy City only 4.
It's definitely noticeable.
Yeah.
So that is Tiger Bay's Jammer back on track. A lovely little hop across the apex there.
The first real apex jump I think we've seen this game.
I think so.
Oh my lord, the core strength of Roxy Toxin.
Staying in on one toe stop.
Pirouetting on the toe stop to stay in bounds.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. I just go, oh my god, look at the core strength that involves.
Yeah.
Not the footwork, no.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. But Tiger Bay picking up a sneaky point. 1 point in that jam. Rainy City picking up 12. So that's 272 now playing 88. Jenks on the jam line up against Mia. Mia pushing out up front, Jenks at the back as you'd expect, and it's Mia who pushes past Wild lead jammer. And it's a star pass from Tiger Bay. Jenks has passed the star now.
Tiger Bay coming around to try and trap Mia for as long as they can.
Wild's now the jammer for Tiger Bay, stuck in the pack. Pip Gray with some great one-on-one blocking, as you said, but unable to hold back Mia. And it's second scoring pass, almost complete, and completed past Dos Santos. Wild still on turn 1. Oh my lord, can anything stop Mia?
I don't think so at this stage.
But it looks effortless.
Absolutely.
And that's Mia's skill, but that's also the offense from Rainy City is exceptional.
Yeah. Queen there just going in, smashing apart all of Tiger Bay's attempts to form a wall, just trying to help get the jammer out as Pip Gray sneaks out.
But it's a cut track for Wild, so just as Wild gets out of the pack, cut track called, so it's a power jam to Rainy City. And we have defense and offense going on like crazy in the pack. Dos Santos versus Mia. Jenks and Dos Santos versus Mia. Mia thinks, I've had enough of this. I'm going to call the jam.
Certainly, and giving Mia the opportunity to start on, well, to give her team the opportunity to start on a power start.
So that is 4 minutes left in this game, and it's 288 points to 88.
That is a 200-point differential. Even I can do that one.
And we have an official review that has been called by Tiger Bay.
We will update you as soon as we get some more information on what that official review entails.
So Rainy City at the moment have got a 7.7 points per jam average. That's 2 scoring passes per jam. And again, I think it's not just the skill of the jammer. I think the offense from Rainy has been phenomenal.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the difference. The defense from both teams is incredibly solid, but the offense from Rainy is what's letting the jammers get through.
Definitely.
And so, yeah, we're just waiting to hear what that official review is. But just a reminder that we have some amazing sponsors for this weekend, particularly Double Threat Skates. Home for where I bought my first pair of skates, actually. It was from Double Threat. I went all the way to London from South Wales. Because there was no other shops in the UK at that time. I'm really old.
The past.
But as you say, run by skaters, for skaters, bricks and mortar, all the things. So big thank you to them for sponsoring this weekend.
Yeah, and if you are buying online from Double Facts this weekend, you can use the discount code 5N is cool for 10% off.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So the official review, Tiger Bay want a blocking with a head penalty assessed on the Rainy Jammer Mia. So I think we'll be able to tell if Mia goes to the box.
I think we will.
Yeah.
It's usually the easy way to tell. It's nice when they officially review, on a jammer, because you can just sit and watch and go, oh, the jammer has gone. They must have got the review. The jammer hasn't gone. Didn't get the review.
Yeah. So the officials have cogitated.
Yep, they're spreading out.
Yep.
And
I'm just having a look to see if they're going to the Rainy bench. Oh no, they need to tell Rainy City first.
yes.
So also while we're waiting for this to play out, just a huge thank you to Five Nations for putting on this event.
Absolutely.
I was in one of the local hotels last night watching people check in, and it just filled my heart with happiness to be back in the tournament bubble.
Yeah.
So big thank you to all of the volunteers who run Five Nations, who put in so much effort to make this huge tournament and this tournament for us. But we are back, and as suspected, there was no official review upheld, so everything stayed as it was, and everything stayed as it is. Rainy City picking up lead jammer, Hazard jamming for them. Wild coming out of the box now, jamming for Tiger Bay.
They lose Gray to the box.
Hazard just finding that outside line clear again, picking up 4 easy points. Wild with being recycled back behind the jammer line.
So big hit there on one of Rainy's blockers, just trying to get their jammer out.
And Wild attempting a star pass, but again Rainy separating the pivot and the jammer. I don't understand how Rainy are doing this with only 4 blockers. They're doing offense and defense.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it should be possible.
And it's Dos Santos out up front, holding back Hazard for those few vital seconds. Wild is at the back.
Rainy have now broken their 3rd century.
And it's a star pass to Evans. So
Evans coming around, forcing the call off.
So all of that in the last jam, 16 points for Rainy City, taking them, as you say, over 300, 304, 308, sorry. Tiger Bay staying on 88. We've been talking about the impact of penalties. We now have 1 Tiger Bay on 5 penalties, starting to get into danger.
Yeah.
Oh no, it is 6 penalties. I can't count.
Oh.
And they let me near numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In the
sorry.
danger zone.
I doubted our producer, and I was proven to be an idiot. So we have 1 Tiger Bay blocker on 6 points. So that's obviously the danger zone, but we have a large number of penalties across both teams. Nobody else yet in danger, but we've got just 1 minute 50 left in this game.
Currently on a team timeout.
And it is Rainy City who have called that timeout.
Time to thank our other sponsor once again, Tree Pig Vegan. Keep jamming, keep blocking, and keep on truffling.
I'm going to hit that stall hard after
Absolutely.
this.
Well, we've got just over a couple of minutes left until we can.
Lunchtime.
Oh, yes.
Is it okay to have just truffles for lunch?
I think so, yeah. It's a tournament.
It's
The rules are
tournament.
different at tournaments.
Calories don't count at tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have Plant on the jam line up against Tripsy Danger. And we're underway.
Plant trying to wiggle through, picking up, I think, is that the 5th lead for Tiger
Yeah.
Bay?
I believe that's 5th or maybe 6th lead.
And Tiger trying to pull Tripsy Danger back as far as they possibly can.
This is fascinating fascinating. Wild is psyching out Trixie Danger by little fake backs to decide where to recycle. And that was just fun to watch.
So much fun.
But Plants having an equally massive recycle by Rolo Tomasi, allowing Rainy City to pass the start. Queen now jamming for Rainy City.
The lesser spotted form of roller derby known as clockwise roller derby. Everyone goes backwards.
But Queen able to use her strength to push past and get out of the pack. Both teams now scoring points, but Tiger Bay having 2 scoring passes to Rainy City's 1. Both back in the pack on their third and second pass, and it's Queen who skates around on the outside. That offense allowing the outside open. Plant hit to the back and recycled. So it is now same scoring passes. And that forces the jam. And I'm just trying to do maths. Unless there's technical shenanigans.
Yeah,
Are we having another jam?
I think we're having another jam. I think this might be our last jam. Certainly we're currently on 3:17 to 98.
I could not work out which way the seconds were going.
Yeah, it took me a moment. I was just like, there's numbers, what do they mean? We're clearly having another jam. Another jam has started.
So it's Geordie up against Roxy Toxin.
And Geordie is knocked out.
Oh,
Going
no
for no
pass. No pass, no penalty. So it's out first, but is not lead.
That means that she is in position to start picking up points.
She can pick up points, but Roxy Toxin is still able to pick up lead. And has just picked up lead.
No.
Oh, no, has not picked up lead. Because it was also a no pass, no penalty. So neither jammer is lead. Neither jammer was eligible for lead. So this will be a 2-minute jam.
2-minute jam, and I think Tiger Bay hoping to break the century.
I think so, and they've got a good chance because they are holding back Roxy Toxin.
Certainly are. That is, I think, Dos Santos
But that's Boba picking up a penalty, giving Rainy City pack advantage, releasing Roxy Toxin.
Of course, with no lead, that means that they are able to take the star pass. And they have.
And they have. It is now just having a look. I thought there was a star pass, but I don't think it was sneaky enough. I
thought there was as well, but maybe not.
No. So it is Roxy Toxin facing off against Evans up front, but now we have no. I'm getting really confused on who had the star there.
I think it was stashed. That is being counted as 4 points. Potentially she picked them all up whilst wearing the star.
Because they had the star on when they went through the pack the first time.
And
if you get hit out and recycled, it doesn't matter, you've already picked up the 4 points.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the hardest bits of being a jammer ref is remembering who your jammer has passed. And that is Roxy Toxin sent to the box.
So power jam now. And that comes to its natural end. And as we hoped, Tiger Bay did break the 100, picking up 4 points in that jam. 4 points also for Rainy City, taking them to 321 to 102. So that was an awesome game. Incredible. Fabulous.
We're still updating because this is still, as always, your unofficial score.
The unofficial score is now 328 to Rainy City to 325 to Rainy City, 102 to Tiger Bay. That is your unofficial score. This means that 329.
I'm going to stop saying anything until it says official score because it's changing so often.
Right. Anyway, Rainy City got lots of points.
Yeah.
Tiger Bay not quite so many points, which means that Tiger Bay go to play Leeds at this track at 3 o'clock. Rainy City get to face off against London again.
Absolutely.
At 5 p.m. on this track.
Yeah, if you saw their previous game, it was a very tight game. Rainy eventually won it, but will they manage to hold on to that again? Join us and find out.
I mean, they looked impressive today. London also looked incredibly impressive against Leeds. Very disciplined, very tight.
Absolutely.
And their recycling was off the charts.
It's going to be an amazing game.
Yes. And we will be here at 3, and well, I'll be here at 5. Are you back here today?
I think I'm producing at 5, so I'll be the, as I was once called, the Richard Osman of roller derby.
So
Stats in your ear.
So big thank you to our producer Painbow. I've been Dork Mistress.
I've been Duke Special.